Muito bem, olá meus amigos, minhas amigas, está começando mais um pop-up. Hoje a gente vai falar de música, porque eu tenho ao meu lado Josh Radnor e Ben Lee. Eles estão aqui com esse projeto, um duo chamado Radnor Lee. Lançaram um disco em novembro e estão aqui no Brasil. Now we're standing at the doorstep of truth. First of all, how did you guys meet?
We actually met on the set of How I Met Your Mother, which is a show I did for a couple years, yeah. Ben, they were going to use a song of his on the show. It didn't happen, but he'd started watching the show. Correct me if I'm...
And then I found out they did use another song later, so that's story.
He asked to come to set because he really liked the show, and I knew his music. I was a fan of his music, so we really hit it off and had a really long conversation that day. And then a couple months later, I ran into him on a street in Los Angeles, which happened to be the street where he lived. I was waiting to see someone, and we reconnected, had dinner, and have been friends ever since. So yeah.
Nice. And when did it came with the idea of this duo, and when it become real?
I think it became real last night in Curitiba with that crowd.
The album came out in November last year, so it's pretty recent. Can you tell more about the music? What is the feeling that Radnor and Lee passed through music?
We want to make music that we would want to listen to. So it's not, there's some very slow songs, there's some very fast, more movable, dance kind of fun songs. But ultimately we just want people to feel good when they listen to the record, and there's a lot of lyrical ideas in there that maybe you'll hear a lyric that'll stay with you and make you reflect a little bit on your life. But we don't have an agenda other than making music that we love to hear and play, and we think it'll be fun to share with people,
Yeah, there's a great moment when you write a song and you look at the lyrics and you go, that's a pretty cool line. And you don't need to talk much more about it, just that it feels good, it might be a little funny, a little sensitive or poetic, and it just feels like you're proud of it,
I've also learned a lot, because I think my tendency when I came into songwriting with Ben was I was a little too poetic, or I wanted to pack too much in. And he's really taught me about simplicity and kind of flattening out lyrics, and he'll say stuff like, that line wouldn't work in a poem, but it'd be super fun to sing, or vice versa. He said, you don't want to sing those words. So I'm learning a lot. It's changed the way I write, yeah.
Standing at the doorstep of truth. When did you realize that you could write music, and Ben, you too? Because you write since you were 13, right?
When we decided to write songs together, I kind of thought I would write a lot of the lyrics and Ben would do a lot of the music, and it hasn't really worked out that way, because Ben had this idea that he really wanted to support me as a musician and as a composer. So the first song we wrote is called Wider Spaces, and he asked me if I had any melodies in my head, and I had this dream when I was in New York with this children's choir singing, and I woke up because the melody was so strong in my head that I sang it into my iPhone. So, yeah. So I played it for him, and we hummed it out, and he started playing it on guitar. He said, "Oh, that's a beautiful melody." So from the first song we wrote, he let me know that I had melodies in me. And so it's been a great gift to be able to be his musical collaborator as well as the lyrical collaborator. And now I'm playing guitar for the last year or so, just composing directly on guitar. My friend pointed out that I'm getting a master class in songwriting from Ben Lee. I just happen to have a band with him, so I have to, we got to do it anyway. So I'm learning all this stuff because he's so smart about songwriting craft.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It won't last forever, and we're reborn each time we die. What kind of music were you listening to compose those songs?
Our musical influences are varied, and Ben knows a lot about music that I don't know, and I started doing musical theater when that's how I started acting. We both spent a lot of time with classical music, so it's very varied. But I think for what we were doing, we wanted to explore a lot of ideas. We wanted the language to be rich, and having this acoustic-based kind of folk stuff, at least for the first album, felt like we could hold a lot of dense ideas.
We wanted to stay true to the way the songs were written. So they're written with a guitar or two guitars and two voices. And when we play live, we've done a few things with other musicians, but still mostly it's just the two of us. So it's not as much like a contrived aesthetic as like, this is what we do. It's two people with guitars. So let's make the record sound like that.
Whatever this thing is, it's really just two guys ultimately who are really good friends writing songs together and enjoying sharing them. So the shows in Brazil are just me, Ben, one guitar, sometimes two. We're working in more guitar for me, but we're working towards being a two-guitar band.
Yeah, I think that'll happen. That'll happen by the end of this year. We'll be like just two guitars.
That's our goal. You heard it now. We said it here.
How would I feel if I had a heart at peace? If I could be released, if only I could.
How is the response of the public to those songs here in Brazil?
Crazy. I mean, it's like it's like a movie where like you're a nerd and suddenly like the most beautiful girl in school wants to talk to you. It's kind of like that with the Brazilian audience. Like we're just like writing songs together, like very small, and we show up here and the people are so passionate and they're just like, they know every word, they're singing along, and we're just going like, oh, we are pretty good, aren't we?
The past, if only I could, if only I could, if only. See,
Josh, I have to ask something about How I Met Your Mother. Do you mind?
to.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Has anything good happened to the duo after 2 a.m.?
Wait. Oh, is anything good happened to me after 2 a.m.? I was up after 2 a.m. last night, but my lawyers have advised me not to talk about it.
agree to see